Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news coming in at top of the Newshour tonight. It's a big breakthrough at BRICS. Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping met on the sidelines of BRICS today, and it's being learnt that Prime Minister Modi raised the boundary row with the Chinese president. The LAC standoff, the line of actual control, where we've seen a lot of activity and a lot of tensions building up, was discussed between both the leaders, and Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping have mutually agreed to lessen the tensions and expedite the peace process. Let's listen in to Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra, who briefed the media just a short while ago.
In a conversation with President Xi Jinping of China, Prime Minister highlighted India's concerns on the unresolved issues along the LAC in the western sector of the India-China border areas. Prime Minister underlined that the maintenance of peace and tranquility in the border areas and observing and respecting the LAC are essential for the normalization of the India-China relationship. In this regard, the two leaders agreed to direct their relevant officials to intensify efforts at expeditious disengagement and de-escalation.
De-escalation and disengagement are the two words used. Joining me is my colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary. Srinjoy, de-escalation and disengagement, how important can this conversation between the two leaders be? And are we looking at some amount of control on the face-off that is taking place at the line of actual control between India and China?
Navika, first of all, disengagement comes first. There are these two places where disengagement has to take place, Demchok and Depsang. Now, in both places, talks have been going on at Major General level, and the Chinese are basically not allowing India to patrol. That is the bottom line. And India has said, okay, you don't allow this patrolling, we won't even start this process of de-escalation, which is a secondary process, which is basically the fact that 50,000-60,000 troops, Indian and Chinese, are facing each other on their sides with their tanks, with their guns, with their aeroplanes. The two disengagements have to happen at Depsang and Demchok, and after that, de-escalation can happen. This is the Indian position. Now, the major generals at 3DIV and Uniform Force have been in touch. The Chinese seem hesitant to allow India to patrol the way they used to in the past. And let's not forget that both these problems are before Galwan, before 2020. So they've been there for years and years. What is the problem in allowing soldiers to patrol to their original patrolling points? That is the question that the Indian generals have been asking. And to that, there does not seem to be any answer.
But Srinjoy, the question is, after this talks today on the sidelines of the BRICS Summit, do you think India can take Xi Jinping and the assurances at face value, or do you think change will take a little bit of time, whether it is disengagement or de-escalation?
There are only 15 days left, Navika, for the G20 to begin, 16. Now, there is hope that in these 16 days, there can be some forward movement. Then Xi Jinping can come, if he does, to Delhi and say, look, this has got done and we can talk properly. Because India has said that unless the border issue gets sorted out, there cannot be normalcy. That is something that the Chinese are pushing, saying, Acha, let's have normalcy and we will continue to talk about the border. That is not something India wants. India wants disengagement first, then de-escalation, then normalcy. Now, in these 16 days, there is hope that at least some kind of disengagement may happen. If it does happen, it will be a forward movement, and it will lead to a happier G20.
Well,